Welcome back to the Creative Business Mindset Podcast. I'm your host, Jane Bellante, and today we're tackling a topic that might just be the missing piece in your creative business: branding. I hear it all the time, all the time. I post all the time, but I'm not getting any engagement. And by the way, that could just be the algorithm. It's been so bad lately. People like my work, but they don't buy. I'm trying to market myself, but nothing seems to stick. If that sounds familiar, chances are your branding isn't working. But don't worry. Today I'm breaking down exactly why your branding might be falling flat and how to fix it fast. We're going to cover the number one branding mistake most creatives make, how to create a brand that actually attracts the right customers, the three key elements of a powerful brand, and how to quickly realign your brand to start seeing results. So grab a notebook, get comfy, and let's dive in. Welcome to the Creative Business Mindset Podcast, the show where creativity meets strategy and mindset meets success. I'm Jane Bellante, artist, coach, and creative entrepreneur, here to help you break free from self-doubt, clear limiting beliefs, and build a business that aligns with who you truly are. Each week, we dive into the mindset shifts, visibility strategies, and creative breakthroughs that help you turn your passion into a thriving business without burnout, overthinking, or perfectionism holding you back. If you're ready to step into your power, create with confidence, and grow a business you love, you're in the right place. Let's dive in. All right, so first things first, branding is not just your logo, color, and fonts, okay? That's the thing I hear the most. Do you have branding in place? Yep, I have a logo. Okay. This is the biggest misconception I see, especially in our creative business space. So yes, a pretty aesthetic is great, but if your brand doesn't connect on an emotional level with your ideal customer, it really and truly is just decoration. So what is a brand? It's your voice and your messaging. It's the experience people have when they interact with you and your business, and it's the emotional connection your business creates. So I want you to think about some of the most powerful brands out there, like Apple, Nike, Anthropologie. People don't just buy their products, they buy into the feeling that those brands create. So I want you to ask yourself, what do I want people to feel when they experience my brand? Is it joy? Is it adventure? Is it peace? Is it inspiration? What is it? I want you to write that down. And as promised, I am going to tell you the number one branding mistake that most creatives make. Because again, your branding isn't about you. It is about your customer. And I know it sounds crazy because as creatives, our work is so deeply personal. But if you're only showing up with, look at what I made energy, and that's like totally me. I'm like a show and teller, like, oh my God, look what I made. I love it so much, right? But if you're only showing up with that energy and you're not speaking to your audience's desires, you are blending in with the noise. And here's the mistake: vague, inconsistent, or overly self-focused branding. Okay? Vague, inconsistent, or overly self-focused branding. That's the number one mistake. If your brand messaging doesn't clearly tell your audience who you are, who you help, and why they should care, then they are moving on, right? And we know how it is: scrolling, scroll, right? They're moving on. So let's do some examples of weak versus strong branding. Weak branding is, I make handmade jewelry. Great. So do 10,000 other people, right? Strong branding is, I create nature-inspired jewelry for women who want to feel connected to the earth. Love that. Love that. I want to buy that. Right? Weak branding, I sell art prints. If you smell them, that could be cool, right? So weak branding, I sell art prints. Strong branding is, I help people bring color and energy into their space with bold, vibrant art prints. Beautiful. I love that. So do you see the difference? The second version speaks directly to what the customer actually wants. They don't care what you're selling. They want to know what it does for them. How does it transform them? How does it change their lives? How does it solve their pain points and their problems? So let's refine your brand message. And I want you to fill in the sentence. I help, and you're going to fill in the blank. And the blank is your ideal customer. Do, feel, or experience the transformation you provide through your product or service. So I help, and the blank is your ideal customer. Do, feel, or experience, and the blank is the transformation you provide through, and the blank is your product or service. Okay, and the examples again, I create nature-inspired jewelry for women who want to feel connected to the earth. I help people bring color and energy into their space with bold, vibrant art prints. Okay, that's the big difference. So what are the 3 key elements of a powerful brand? So we've busted a couple of myths. We've talked about the biggest mistake that people are making, but let's talk about what actually makes a brand work. So the first thing is clarity. Is your brand message clear? Do people instantly understand what you do and who it's for? Instantly. Blink test on your website or your social media. What do you do? Who is it for? If a stranger landed on your Instagram, your Facebook, your website, would they actually get it in 5 seconds or less? Because that's about all we have. And probably we only have like 3 seconds. That is a blink test, right? Consistency. Are you showing up the same way everywhere? If your Instagram has one vibe, your website feels different, your Facebook is different, it just creates confusion and people are like, I don't understand this. And they stop following you. They stop wanting to know more. Your tone, visuals, and messaging need to be aligned and recognizable. So all of that needs to be aligned. It all needs to look the same everywhere. So that is your consistency. And the third element of a powerful brand is connection. Does your brand speak to people's emotions? Because people buy based on feelings. So if your brand isn't making an emotional impact, guess what? It's forgettable. It's forgettable. So I want you to take a look, and maybe you don't have any branding in place, okay? So you won't be able to do this, but if you do, I want you to audit your brand. Look at your website, your social media, your emails if you have them, and PS, you really should. Do they align? Would someone instantly understand your brand? Okay? So brand audit, if you don't even have any branding in place, you really want to look into getting that in place so that you look a little bit more professional. Okay, so if you're realizing that your branding isn't as strong as it could be, don't panic. We can realign things quickly, and here's how you're going to do it, okay? So the first step is to identify what is not working. So if you're not clear on your brand message, guess what? That's not working. If your visuals are inconsistent, that's not working. Are you posting randomly without a strategy? Because we do that, right? We go, oh my God, I didn't post yet. What am I going to post? And then we go through our phone and we're like, oh my God. And we have no strategy. And then we just post something. So are you doing that? So that's step 1, identifying what is not working. Step 2 is defining your brand's core identity. So we need to ask ourselves these things. What is the one feeling I want my brand to evoke? Who is my perfect customer? And really dig into this, because if you're like, I don't know, then you're never going to sell anything, or it's going to be very few and far between. And lastly, in defining your brand's core identity, how do I help that customer? How do I solve their problems, their pain points? How do I transform them? And again, you're like, oh, I don't know, let's make stuff. I only make stuff. I don't know how I help them. How does that solve the problem, right? Dig in. Dig in. Step 3 is simplify and streamline. So if you don't have any branding in place at all, right now I want you to pick 2 to 3 brand colors and stick with them. Use the same fonts on all platforms and make sure your bio and website copy are clear and to the point. You might not even have a website. That is okay. Maybe you have a Pinterest and a Facebook, or a Facebook, Instagram, Pinterest, whatever it is. It all needs to be clear, to the point, and it all needs to say the same thing. And lastly, the step number 4 is show up and stay consistent. So we want to share content that reflects your brand's message. If you don't know what your brand's message is, go back and listen to this again and get clear, because the more clear you are, the more people understand who you are and they want to learn more. So share content that reflects your brand's message. We want to engage with your audience in a way that builds trust and keep reinforcing that brand identity over and over and over and over and over and over and over, right? I mean, if we're thinking about those brands that I talked about before, Apple and Nike and whoever, what else did I say? Abercrombie. They keep doing the same thing over and over and over. And they get consistent sales and consistent customers. So let's just do a quick little recap. Your branding is more than just aesthetics. It's about clarity, consistency, and connection. If your branding isn't working, it's likely because it's unclear, it's inconsistent, or number one problem, too self-focused. To fix it fast, audit your brand, refine your messaging, and start showing up with clarity and consistency. So I have a little challenge for you. I want you to take 10 minutes and write out your brand message. Okay, so we are filling in that sentence that I asked before. It is, I help, and then you fill in the blank. That's your ideal customer. Do, feel, or experience. And then you fill in the blank, the transformation you provide. Through, and the fill in the blank is your product or service. Okay, so if this episode is helpful for you and you think that you know somebody else that it would resonate with, please share it with them. Give them my YouTube, tell them to download it on Apple or Spotify podcasts. Share it, because this is so important. It is the thing that helps you stand out instead of blending in with the crowd. Because, let's face it, anybody can open a business page and begin a business. Anyone can. And you know that you're talented. You know that you love to do what you do. And so this information is so helpful for you to really begin to stand out so people understand who you are, what you're selling, and why they should buy it. And don't forget, my 30-minute strategy for a profitable creative business is coming soon. Next week, it's coming. It'll be $10. I'm so excited to share this with you. And keep an eye out for details for that. And also, my Build an Unbreakable Business in 5 Days challenge is coming back. It's coming back. It's super popular. It's starting April 7th. You can get on the wait list for that right now. And the link for that will be in the show notes and the description on YouTube. So until next time, keep creating, really. Keep doing what you love. Keep showing up and keep building a brand that truly reflects you. Don't forget to join me live in my Limitless Creators Hub on Facebook. It is my free Facebook group. I'm live every Monday morning at 10 Central with Motivation Monday. You can watch that replay on YouTube and listen to it on Apple and Spotify. And then you can join me next week, Wednesday, on the Creative Business Mindset Podcast. Thanks for hanging out, and I'll see you soon.